Welcome to Cities Untold Lowtown. I'm Nate, and I'm going to give you a hands-on demonstration of how our brand new scaffolding system works. Let's dive in and take a look. Everything you're about to see are handmade prototypes cast in-house in resin. They are often imperfect or even unfinished. The versions you'll receive will be factory finished in dwarvenite and will be much more precise and consistent. Viewer discretion is advised. So these are all the pieces in the scaffolding system. It's a pretty robust collection, so let's walk through each one. So this is our 2-inch platform. So just like this entire collection here, everything is sculpted to be weathered wood, right? This is distressed, it's seen the elements, it's really worn down, beaten up, and looks real. This is 2 inches by 2 inches. It has a grid sort of hidden in there in the sculpt. So this vertical is a little deeper than the others, and there's a little break here in these boards to show you where the cross is. So it's 4 1-inch squares in there. It is exactly the thickness of a regular floor, but it's deceptively thin because these sides thin out around the sides. But when you sit it down, it's the exact same height as a floor, so you can build in line. Gives you all sorts of nice compatible geometry. It has a biscuit slot on every side, so 4 different biscuit slots, so lots of different ways you can attach it or attach things to it. And on the bottom, it has a pair of little holes for attaching to our roof system, for doing roof platforms and landing pads and widow's walks and all sorts of cool elevated danger up on the tops of your buildings. The 4-inch platform, very much the same as the 2-inch. You see the baked-in grid here, where squares is 4 inches long this way, 2 inches this way, same thickness as the other one. Has one centered biscuit slot in the end, and then has a pair inside. Basically, every 2 inches there's a centered biscuit slot, and then on the bottom it has 4 pairs of holes for attaching to the roofs, if you'd like. Now we have the diagonal platform. So this one starts like the other ones as a clean 2x2, but then it terminates in a 45-degree end, and this is exactly 2 inches, so it sits up really cleanly against the other platforms. It has biscuit slots on the 90-degree sides and one centered on the 2-inch for the 45-degree, as well as it has a pair of holes on the bottom for attaching to the roofs, same floor thickness as everything else. And then the last pier platform we have is the narrow platform. So this is 4 inches long. You can see the grid in there. And normally we work in 1-inch increments, but this is actually 1.25 inches wide. So we wanted to give just a little more playable space, particularly when these are used as bridges and elevated walkways and the like. So this will be able to fit a 32mm base for your Mini, as well as if you're putting railings on it, there's a little more playable space on there. So we opted for a little more playable space, and we broke out of our normal 1-inch increments for this. It's got a pair of biscuit holes centered, once again, on every 2-inch, and then there's one centered on the narrow side, like such. Same thickness as the floors, and 4 pairs of the peg holes for attaching to the roofs. So beyond the platforms, we have railings. These railings are same sort of weathered wood feel. They're exactly 1 inch high beyond the feet. The feet are for affixing them to the platforms. There will be a pair of pegs. This one only has one currently, but there will be a pair of pegs here, and they will slide into any pair of biscuit holes, something like that. They sit slightly over the platform, so it feels really secure. It sits on there very nicely. They will fit up against floors as well. You could slot these onto floors, and they can also be inverted if you want to raise something by 1 inch. They also take a pull accessory holder, which we'll show you in a moment. There's a 2-inch version, very much like the 4-inch version. We'll have 2 pegs here. And there's a narrow version This is 1.25 inches, and this is for terminating the narrow platform or for doing some technical little runs and the like. All of these end in 45-degree beveled ends so that you can build them together. You can slide them onto the same platform and they will nestle right up nice against each other and make a 90-degree. All right, beyond the railing, we have pilings. The purpose of the pilings is to elevate the platforms up. So these are the same sort of weathered wood look and feel. A couple of round vertical pilings connected by a horizontal. They have pole accessory holes on the top and the bottom. These allow you to attach footers or pole accessories, or you can peg these to each other if you want to make a really long, tall run for some really epic height multi-level building. In addition, they have little integral biscuits. So these are little half-width biscuits that are baked into them. And these are so you can attach them to the sides of your platform, something like that. These are designed to get platforms up to 2 different heights. So in this configuration, it gets it up to 38 millimeters. It's the same height as our original docks. It's the same height as the top of the seawalls. It's the same height as a wall, a city builder wall without a floor. And then you can reverse these, flip it that way, and that drops this down. And now the top of the platform is at 25 millimeters, which is the same height as our 1-inch rise system. We have the single piling, which is very much like the twin piling, except there's one of them. It's got the same holes on top and bottom and the same little adorable little half biscuit baked in. If those 2 height increments weren't enough, we have a footer. So this is 1 inch high, has a pole accessory hole there. You can pop a pole accessory peg into that and then peg them to the bottom of your pilings, something like this, to raise your pilings up another inch. So it gives you a lot of height options. And if that wasn't enough, they will be bored out inside. You can see this one's just raw resin in there. We haven't painted inside yet. And that lets you slide them over the bottom of the pilings to raise them up 12 millimeters to the height of 1 floor. So between the 1 inch, the 1 floor, and the 2 reversible heights on the pilings, you should be able to hit any different elevation you need to hit with these. So you can do all sorts of really interesting compatibility builds with multi-level stuff, transitioning from building to building, building to ground, building to rocks, and the like. And speaking of those transitions and elevation, we have a robust stair system here. So we have a brand new collection of stairs, which I'm very excited about because they are modular. So this is the 61 millimeter stair. This is our longest one. All of them are the same sort of weathered look. They have an overhang on the steps, so you can slide a mini base under there. It'll hold the mini base if you have a miniature partway up the stairs and doing combat and the like. In addition, they each have an integrated half biscuit here. Same little short biscuit there, so you can attach them to the side of a platform or building or anything that has a biscuit slot. And then the base has a little hidden biscuit slot in there, so you can slide in a biscuit and then attach the footer to a platform or the like. Best of all, you can connect them to each other using the baked-in biscuits and biscuit slots, so you can make all sorts of different heights of stairs up and in every which way. So we have a 61 millimeter, a 38 millimeter, and a 25 millimeter, and you can mix and match these together to get a variety of different heights. So no matter what you're building, you'll be able to get some stairs up there. If you want to go directly vertically up, we have the hanging ladder. This is 2 inches high. It has the same little integrated half biscuit, and the rungs are spaced such that you can slot a mini base in there and hold a miniature off the side of your building or your planks or wherever it's climbing to. We have this little pole accessory holder clip. So this is designed to slide over all of our railing pieces, and then you can attach a pole accessory and reposition it anywhere you want on that railing. You could also even move it during play if you wanted to. We have a corner railing platform. So this is a merger of a platform and a railing all into one piece. So it has a square 1¼ inch footprint. So it's the same as the narrow platform. It has a baked-in railing that's 1 inch high. Goes around a 90-degree corner here. Same floor thickness as the regular floors. It has 4 biscuit slots, so you can attach accessories to it or attach it to things. It is fantastic for attaching to the side of your building and then attaching some stairs to it. So if you want to attach a staircase out to the side of your building, use something like that. Very good for transitioning up and down your scaffolding, as well as you can put 4 of these together, biscuit 4 of these together, and make like a cool little crow's nest or the like. And it takes the pole accessory holder, can slide over this, so you can put like an arbalist up there or something if you want. And finally, the last piece in the lineup, it's my favorite one of the whole batch, is this 6-inch rope bridge. So just like everything, this is distressed and beaten and battered. It's seen the elements and looks a little dangerous. Maybe it's slippery, maybe it's going to break. Lots of danger baked into this sculpt. Beautiful piece. Here is 6 inches long end to end. It's 1¼ inch wide, just like the narrow platform. It has a 1-inch dip from the top to bottom, so lots of gravity baked into this thing. And you can see the 1-inch squares are broken by the slats of wood. Show you where the squares are. So this thing is fantastic for suspending some danger anywhere you want. And we have a variety of ways. Because it has a biscuit hole on each end, you can attach it to roof perches or to the scaffolding or to stairs, or it's backwards compatible because of the biscuit slots, so you can attach this to any of your paired peg holes, like all those wildlands, rock formations, and the like. So these are the core pieces. We also have a couple of pieces we often use with the system. One is this hoist pole accessory. Generally, places that we're putting the scaffolding, be it platforms on the side of your warehouses or docks, wherever you're going to want to hoist stuff up. So this thing comes out a lot. It pops right into that pole accessory holder, so you can put it on any of the railings anywhere. You can also put it on in the pole accessory holes on the tops of your pilings, so you can just put this off the side of your wharf somewhere, wherever you need it. We have this stair pillar. It is 38 millimeters high. It's a 1 inch wide, 3/4 inch this way. It has a biscuit slot hidden on each side. And this is primarily used with the 38 millimeter stairs, just something like that. And this gets you up and down in your building. It goes the exact same height as the walls, so you can fit it inside each of your stories. You can fit a mini up at the top, and it's a fantastic way to get up to the 2nd story of your house. You can also use this platform. You can use this to hold platforms, to string a whole bunch together at a long elevated bridge. You can hook the bridge on there. It's got a biscuit slot, so you can basically attach anything to this. And finally, we have the secret door panel from our rustic wood secret door wall. And we use this one a lot, so much that it's actually in the Scaffolding Dock Builder pack. This thing is a perfect way to transition from any surface up to the platforms. Also, if you want to bridge small gaps between the platforms or do some fun angles that are not perfect 90 degrees, this works fantastically for bridging those spaces. So you'll find you end up using this thing a bunch. All right, let's look at some basic building techniques. When building with a scaffolding, generally you start with the platforms first and sort of sketch out what you're going to do. Then you can connect them, elevate them, and accessorize them. So you can pop biscuits into the biscuit slots, slide these things together, and then you can fly them around as one unit. Once you kind of have sketched out what you want to build, then you can add some pilings and railings and whatnot. So you can do something like this if you wanted to build a little dock. These are all set at the lowest setting, right? So we just took the pilings, put them at the low setting versus the high setting, something like this. Maybe we want to add a little elevation. So we took a second platform, added the pilings at the high setting, and then put the 25 millimeter stair there so it would line up. And you could put a biscuit between those if you wanted to. If you didn't want the stair, you could very easily bridge that using the secret door panel, just something like that. Or if you wanted a long run, you could put the narrow platform like that, something to that measure. Once you have this built, then you can just keep going, right? You could sketch out, say, hey, I want to have a platform like this, or like this, or, just sort of lay them out and then biscuit them together and lift them up, if you like. When your pilings are at the low setting like this, everything lines up with our 1-inch rise system, so you can sort of seamlessly connect out to a causeway, something like that. At the high setting, they connect cleanly to the top of the seawall, which you could then build out floor from here and whatnot. And you'll mix and match by flipping around the heights until you find heights that look good on the table and sort of connecting to whatever other build you're going to do. You can also, instead of using the pilings, you could just attach a pair of stairs on either side and hold up your platform. Okay. You could then further, you could add, if you wanted to make it look more like a bridge, you could add some pilings to the side. Do that. You can do that with the larger platforms and the like to make a variety of elevated walkways and whatnot. Also, while you're at this height, you can connect our existing docks, line up at the low setting. They line up these, and if you switch your pilings around the original, they will line up to the high setting here. So you can build seamlessly with the original docks and scaffolding and make all sorts of magical creations. Now, if you want to attach these to a building, let's do something like this. Same basic technique, right? Start with your platforms, figure out what you want to do, then biscuit it and accessorize. So first you just take a biscuit, and then you take a biscuit, pop it into the side of your floor, whatever height you want to go, and boom, you're all set. If you want to stop people from falling off, you can throw a railing on something like that. So we've designed the railings so that they go into the two inner pole accessory holes in the biscuit slots. So they slot in something like this, but it leaves room for the little half biscuits on the pilings, so you can put the pilings on over, and you can have both pilings and railing, just piling, any combination of the two. Lets you mix and match. So you could just pop a railing on there and it holds fine because it's biscuited on, or you could take the railing, add the pilings. In this case, we're up on the second story, so we added the footers on the bottom of the piling to lift it up to the second story height. Another really simple one. Oh, and you can take the 61 millimeter stair. This one's prototype's a little bent, but it'll land right down on the floor, get you up from ground level up to the second story. Another simple one you can do is take the corner railing platform, attach that 61 millimeter stairs, and then just biscuit that to the side of your building. And once again, this stair is a little bent, so it should hit the ground, but it gets you a nice transition right up to your second story like that. You also can invert these railings. So instead of having them top side, you can flip them down, and then they will lift these platforms up by 1 inch. It would be something like that. It looks particularly good if you use the wood floors, something like this. So you could make an elevated platform, something like this. You could use them as a foundation for your house, or this could be platform in a tavern for the barge to play, or maybe this is something, a podium you put in the town square, and maybe you leave this insert out so there's a slot to drop people on the gallows. But however you mix and match it, there's endless things you can build with the scaffolding. In fact, let's go look at it in a build. So this is a sample build that we've put together that showcases some of the basic uses of scaffolding and hopefully will inspire you in the sorts of things that you can build for your table. This is sort of like a semi-fortified outpost, maybe on the edge of the frontier or some such, or maybe it was an old inn that's been taken over by a thieves guild and they kind of set it up as their camp or whatnot. starting down on the ground floor, at the very base level, we just put platforms around the perimeter of the building as like a boardwalk, kind of a porch with no roof, just something to kind of extend the footprint of the building, make it pop off the ground. Really simple. You don't even need to biscuit these together if you want. They're just put down there with gravity. So then moving upwards, we have some fun going up on the roof, right? The goal here was we want to make this roof playable, right? They don't want to be decorative. We want to get minis up here and start really working with the dynamics. So in this case, we have a magnetic trapdoor here, which is the way you'd get up here, and a magnetic perch as a jumping off point. And speaking of jumping off point, this has got a biscuit hole, so you could attach a bridge or a platform or anything you want from here on out. But in this case, it's just a little platform to get up these stairs up to the top here. And what we've actually done is using the platforms have all these little holes on the bottom where you can pop in a pole accessory peg, and then the roofs have corresponding holes on the top. So we popped a peg in here, and boom, just drop that thing right onto the roof, so it's super secure. So at this point, we can just add or remove accessories, and it is really secure base. In fact, we can lift this whole roof off, right, as one unit and fly this thing around. And this would be great if we needed to get inside here for combat or whatever, you fly it off. But once these things are egged on, they're super secure base, and you can just keep building off them from there. So in this case, we have a couple of platforms here, little stairs. If we wanted to make it a little more secure, we could pop a railing on there, or maybe we wanted to make it more fortified. Right now, there's you got some great, probably like 3/4 cover here. From down below, you could kind of fortify this thing up a little more if you wanted to, or you could live dangerously and just have exposed platforms, little rooftop runs. Over this part, it's the same gag, right? Everything's pegged onto the roof, so it's a 2x2 scaffolding platform just pegged right to the top of the roof, and then there's 2-inch railings pegged on all 3 sides of the platform. Little pole accessory holder there for spyglass, and then the 61mm stairs. Once again, one solid unit. We can pop this up, fly around, get inside there for combat or see what's going on. And I could also just leave this on my shelf later for if I wanted to reuse this thing for a different build. And once you have these things pegged to the roof, it's really easy to then, fly off and go, let's go add to another tower or something hanging off, or more stairs going down or whatnot. It's very secure, and you can kind of build out, and who knows where you can go from there. Coming on over here, we have this 6-inch bridge attached to the edge of this platform. We could also do this with just the flat scaffolding. It felt more fun having like the weight of the bridge, and it's kind of narrow and feels like a wonderful choke point that something could happen, a cool fight on there. And then this is just attached to this kind of this like the watchtower looking area. So in this case, we got double high base, the double high walls on the base, and then we started up here, and I used the same sort of building technique over there, right? I started with this upper unit, and I laid out the scaffolding, right? I've laid out the platforms, figure out where the heck do I want to build. Once I figured out what I liked with them, I biscuited them together, biscuited them to the side, and then I added railings to taste. And in this case, I added the bridge, and I haven't even attached it on the other side. It still holds up pretty decently, but ultimately, when we seal this thing together, I would attach a biscuit and affix these nice and securely. We have the pole accessory holder there for the hoist, and then up here, we've just done that same gag where you take the corner railing platform and the stairs, and boom, make a 2-way to get up into that doorway. So this is there's a lot of different levels that we could do combat on to be a fun little counter, defend the outpost or sneak into the outpost or whatnot. So hopefully this will inspire you on some of the things you could do with the basic scaffolding. Let's now take it up a notch and do another couple of levels. This is a sample build we put together to really showcase the verticality possible with the scaffolding. So this doesn't have a huge footprint. It's about 12 inches by 18 inches, but it's almost 14 inches high. So it's nearly as high as it is wide, really showing you what you can do from going up and up in your city. So starting down at the ground level, or sea level, as it were, we're just using the basic techniques to make the docks here. It's just platforms stuck together with biscuits, throw on the pilings in low mode, throw a little 25 millimeter stair down to get to water level. It slides really nicely up against the seawalls, and then you can transition up. This is a 38 millimeter stairs transitioning up here. Over here, we've got these docks, same thing, just platforms biscuited together. These pilings are in high mode, so we have nice change in elevation there, and really making good use of the diagonals. There's a whole bunch of diagonals here, so it's kind of a twisting dock, and it's got a lot of really nice, interesting, just not all square, right? And everything's not 90 degrees, plenty of twists and turns. Using that secret door panel to transition up. And then in here, we've got platforms just biscuited to the floors there, and then cantilevered out, right? Which is hanging out, so you can have that ladder hanging down. The pilings, we've got footers underneath the pilings here, so we can get them up to second story height, because they're starting on the second story, because we got the bottom story is the seawall. And then this is a really good showcase of just continuously stacking the pilings all the way up. You could put pole accessory pegs between those if you wanted for extra stability, but I was sort of flying these levels in and out as I was building, and maybe would want to pop them off for combat or something, so I didn't connect those, and it's plenty stable as is. We have a fun sort of showcase of the stairs here, where we were using a bunch of these corner railing platforms biscuited to the sides of these platforms, and then connecting the stairs, so you can have stairs going up and around. And in this case, they're coming around doing a cool 90 degrees. They come off the building here, come down, and then suspended, take a 90-degree turn, come on down here, popping the hoist into the pole accessory at the top there. Sparse, there's only a few railings here and there. Mostly it kind of made it feel a little more active, more like docks, also a little more dangerous, and a little easier to get in and move your minis around if you're doing combat in there. On this second story, we're once again just biscuited all these platforms against the side, and then kind of build out from there. And you have all this fun sort of cantilevered hanging stuff over. And then in this case, we have the vertical ladder going up to this higher platform up here, onto the side of the, again, just biscuit that right to the side of the building, pop in the ladder, and go. You have a cool suspended platform. Docks on just sitting on the ground here to make a little sort of walkway around the sides. And then all the way up at the top here, it's just taking the cupola and four of the 2-inch railings, just slotted in with the sides of the cupola to make a cool little crow's nest with that pole accessory holder. And then the rest is just sort of just working with the rustic wood, doing a pretty simple, basic, a lot of vertical building with a little bit of fun roof work here. But this should hopefully inspire you in the sort of vertical dynamic combats that you could do, right? If you were actually running an encounter in here, there'd be some fun stuff that you couldn't really think about on graph paper, like what happens for targeting a fireball up here? Are the people down here going to get hit? You're not having to think in the, how does the sphere expand vertically? And like lots of different platforms and levels. I mean, we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 8 different layers and different heights that you could be playing with. You could have a very, very fun, very thematic, cinematic combat in here. So hopefully this will give you a sense of what sorts of things you can build on your table with this scaffolding system. And that's everything you need to know about our new scaffolding system. If you like this breakdown and want to see what else Lowtown has to offer, check out our Lowtown playlist on YouTube or our Cities Untold Lowtown website. Both are linked in the description below. If you still have questions, feel free to reach out to us in the Kickstarter comments, on our forums, or on Discord. And with that, it's back to the anvil.